A warm day. We're talking mid-70s today, and that could bring in some storms overnight. I'll have the timeline and details on that in the full forecast just minutes away.
To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight.
In less than 24 hours, this temporary travel ban will go into effect.
Yeah, this is happening as the number of coronavirus cases across the United States continues to climb. Now, the latest numbers from the World Health Organization, more than 1,200 cases in the U.S., accounting for at least 35 deaths. President Trump taking steps to help businesses being affected by the virus, including offering low-interest loans through the Small Business Administration.
And in the past week, we've been flooded with phone calls asking us to check out rumors of confirmed cases in North Alabama.
Calls, emails, you name it, Facebook. At this time, Alabama, though, is one of 6 states that have not confirmed any cases, but that does not mean the virus isn't already here. In fact, the state health officer says it's really only a matter of time before someone in Alabama tests positive for coronavirus.
There's no question that we will find cases here. Every state in the country will see cases. Just maybe 10 days ago, there were only 6 or 7 states that were even doing testing in their state laboratories, and by the end of last week, virtually every state, including Alabama, was testing. So as we ramp up our ability to test, we're certainly going to find cases. We're a very connected country, and people travel frequently. Viruses are real efficient at getting around.
And Dr. Harris said he does not want to make this a health scare. However, he does urge people not to leave the house if you are feeling sick. And the fallout from the coronavirus outbreak is being felt across really all walks of life. This includes a place many of us go to escape, sports.
Yeah, a lot of sports fans out there. In just the past 24 hours, leagues and teams at both the college and the pro levels have taken precautions to keep people safe.
The game tonight has been postponed. You are all safe. And take your time in leaving the arena tonight and do so in an orderly fashion. Thank you for coming out tonight.
A lot of disappointed fans. The NBA suspended the season until further notice following a positive coronavirus test by a player. This news came down as some games were getting ready to begin. In fact, some games had already started when the decision came down. Later, we'll tell you what one owner is doing to keep money in the stadium employees' pockets.
And the player many are saying tested positive is Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert. After sources released his name, wait until you find out what happened next.
Yeah, he's facing a lot of criticism this morning for what he did during a press conference earlier this week. Monday, he went around touching microphones of different reporters. At the time, he said he did it to show that he wasn't concerned about the spread of the coronavirus.
Many of you Alabama and Auburn basketball fans also planning to head to Nashville to watch the SEC tournament, but unfortunately, you will no longer be able to do that.
The conference announced it will not allow fans to attend tournament games due to the coronavirus. The precautions don't stop there. All the Power 5 conferences also not allowing fans at their conferences, tournaments, but there is more. The NCAA will do the same for the NCAA men's and women's tournaments. The only people able to attend the games are essential staff and limited family members. Some game sites could also be changed.
And many people do save and plan for years. That way they can afford to go to the NCAA tournament. If you're one of those people, it's disappointing. But the good news is you will get your money back. You should expect to get a refund for your tickets within the next 30 days.
Well, switching now from the hardwood to the ice. Today, the leaders of the National Hockey League will consult with medical experts.
And they're trying to determine the fate of the NHL season. The NHL released this statement here last night saying that they're well aware of the NBA's decision to suspend play for the near future. Of course, we'll keep you updated on what the NHL decides on air and on the 48 News app.
And several NHL teams are scheduled to play games with no fans in the stands. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the San Jose Sharks, both teams will be following rules put into place by lawmakers in their states.
And tonight the Blue Jackets are supposed to host the Pittsburgh Penguins as well, set to be the first NHL game without fans in attendance. Of course, all of this comes just 4 months before the start of the 2020 Summer Olympic Games in Japan.
WAFF 48's Peyton Walker joins us now live. And Peyton, organizers of the games, they just spoke minutes ago in Tokyo. What's the latest?
Well, Haley and Trent, one of the key figures in the Olympics this year is the governor of Tokyo. And just minutes ago, she said it would be impossible to cancel the games at this point. Now, she says she met with the prime minister asking for support and help. Of course, the Olympics draws athletes, fans, and media from around the world. And you can imagine the implications of corona spreading through the Olympic Village. Well, organizers are taking a gamble that the virus will be tackled and no longer a problem when July comes. So what about other major sports? Formula One is in Australia this weekend for its first race of 2020 and has given no indication it'll shut down. NASCAR is in Atlanta and it's announced some minor changes. Drivers and fans will have less interaction, but other than that, the races will go on.
All right, Peyton, thank you. And $40 million.
Just a few minutes.
And this morning, the clock continues to tick, and at midnight, travel will be suspended to Europe for 30 days.
Yeah, all as the number of coronavirus cases across the country continues to climb steadily. More than 1,600 confirmed cases. None, though, being confirmed in Alabama right now. And right now, at least 41 deaths are being linked to this pandemic. The worldwide death toll has passed 5,000. This morning, our country's leaders in Washington, D.C. are pushing for a solution.
And today, House lawmakers, in fact, are hoping to vote on a coronavirus relief package.
Yeah, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says lawmakers are getting close to an agreement. The relief package reportedly involves enhancement to paid leave and also food assistance. It would also bolster state Medicaid funding to help with the crisis. Free testing would also be offered to those who need it. Well, lawmakers say this could be the first of several coronavirus-related bills.
As lawmakers work on that, the country's leading health officials are doing their part as well. Right now, they're pushing to get widespread testing going across our country. There are concerns that the number of cases is being underreported because there's a lack of testing kits. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, says there is nothing that won't be tried to stop this outbreak.
You know, anything and everything is on the table. I mean, sometimes people hesitate to say that because then they scare people, but I could say it easily. I'm not trying to scare anybody. You respond to the situation as it is. But what I also say is important is that you should always be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that is good advice there. Fauci says widespread testing could be up and running within the next few weeks.
And now to information we received into the newsroom late last night.
It involves the wife of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who tested positive for the coronavirus. And today the Prime Minister is expected to address the country as well about his wife's condition, but also what's being done to combat the pandemic in Canada. So far, he is not, though, showing any symptoms, but still the Prime Minister will isolate himself for 14 days.
And Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama is doing its part to meet your growing needs during the coronavirus crisis.
So here is what they're doing: increasing access to prescription medications by waiving early medication refill limits, also dedicating staff to address coronavirus questions and waiving prior authorizations for testing and covered services that are medically necessary.
And the company's executive vice president, Dr. Dalbrigg, says the company wants to give you the peace of mind that you're getting the best care possible. He says they will continue to take necessary steps to keep you safe.
And happening today, Huntsville Hospital also will be holding a news conference to talk about its coronavirus preparedness.
Yeah, in a statement sent to us, the hospital says no patients, employees, or physicians have tested positive for the virus. Today's meeting is set for 1 p.m. and of course, we will give you a recap of this news conference throughout the day.
And now shifting our focus to Limestone County, where in just a few hours at 9:30 this morning, the county's EMA director will hold a news conference to discuss again preparedness for the coronavirus. City and county school officials, along with Athens Limestone Hospital reps, will be at that news conference.
And continuing our coverage on this growing concern, if schools in the Tennessee Valley do need to close due to the coronavirus, some students who get free or reduced lunches, they could be forced to go without a meal. So to make sure that that does not happen, districts will need to file a waiver with the state. And the North Alabama Food Bank is preparing for increased demand as well if schools are closed.
If schools should close, if there is an increased demand for an extended period of time, then we would probably look at doing some distribution centers. And that's where we would do like a drive-through where we would have food. If people needed it, they could drive through and receive a food box that could last them.
Now, some of you might be asking how you can help. We do have a link on the 48 News app with more information. Well, fixing roads definitely comes at a cost, and in Morgan County, it comes with a $18 million price tag to fix Highway 231. AlDOT officials met with the community at Arab High School last night to explain their plan for the road. And the mountain shifted, as you remember, during a landslide mid-February when we got all that rain. It's been closed ever since. The plan is to build 2 new bridges and remove about 25 feet of bad soil that led to that slide.